My name is Dante Ollivierre. I'm a creative director and the director and editor for the film I'm Garifuna. Just want to say thank you, for having me today. And it's an absolute pleasure to be able to, speak about this film in depth and in context with everything that's been discussing today. Um, Directing this film gave me the opportunity to sit with Ulrika and to speak with her and learn about her. And she's a central voice of the story, and she's someone who's actively practices and preserves Garifuna culture. I had the opportunity to learn more deeply about the culture, the identity, and the importance of preserving the Garifuna heritage. Um, to me, directing our legacy means taking ownership of how our stories are told. It's important to know who tells them and how they are framed and how they are remembered. For this film specifically and for Garifuna Women, it's powerful because many of these stories have traditionally lived on in oral forms through memory, song, and lived experiences. Film allows those voices to be reclaimed and preserved in a way that can transcend generations. Um, Film is unique because it captures more than just information. It captures emotion, presence, and the identity altogether. And this is something that we experienced while filming this documentary with Ulrika. And I remember when we were filming this, we had about 2 days, I think, to film, and we had completed the 2 days of filming, and I wasn't satisfied with, what we've captured so far. It didn't feel like the right representation, and we decided to treat it just more than just a documentation. It's a form of reclamation, and this is something that we learned, after speaking with Ulrike and having her interview, and this allowed us to you know unfold the story how it was meant to be, and it allows Garifuna women to see themselves, hear themselves, and you know how they'll be remembered on their own terms. Um, One of the biggest responsibilities in translating Garifuna storytelling traditions into film is translating it without losing, the authenticity. Our culture is rooted in rhythm, movement, and oral story. So instead of forcing those stories into a rigid structure, we let those elements guide this cinematic language. That means using, music, rhythm, and storytelling tools, allowing space for silence and letting the story unfold naturally. Authenticity came first, while we were doing this, and filming second. Um, with this film, the inspiration came from exploring identity, and a lot of the props will go to the producer of the film, Julian Allen. He's not here today, but he is the one who invited me to direct this film, and we really wanted it to be about the main theme of rediscovering your identity, and what it means to return to your roots after distance or disconnection. And I think this was a journey for myself, and I know it was a journey for Ulrika as well. And we had so much joy creating this. Ulrika, her story was essential, and because it was deeply personal and honest. Her journey of rediscovering her Garifuna identity reflects something many people experience, which is a sense of disconnection and reconnection. Her story became a lens through which we could explore identity in a way that feels, relatable and real and human. Um, as a director, there's a responsibility that goes beyond storytelling. You're working with someone's identity, their ancestry, and their truth. So we approach this by prioritizing authenticity over aesthetics, allowing the story to guide the visuals rather than shaping it, just for entertainment. Um, it's not just a creative piece. It's cultural preservation. So directing our legacy is ultimately about ownership of our voices, our stories, and our future. And when we tell stories, as important as the Garifuna culture and specifically Garifuna women, we are preserving history. Um, we're not just preserving history; we're actively creating it. Thank you.